We are the Hebrew Israelites.
Okay.
We're definite Hebrew Israelites. But it was other things that went along with the curses that was put on our people in Deuteronomy 28 chapter. And then once you begin to see these things, you begin to understand why our people walk around in darkness as far as religious doctrine is concerned.
Shabbat Shalom. Our scripture reading for today is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 13 through 15 and 17. Elohim has from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth, whereunto he called you by our gospel, to the obtaining of the glory of our Adonay, Yeshua HaMashiach. Therefore, brethren, stand fast and hold the tradition which you have been taught, whether by word or our letters. Comfort your hearts and establish you in every good word and work.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today, Hold On.
The Oracles of the UCI, 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication, and all uncleanness, or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becoming saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth. Therefore, let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame, and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in this body of Yahshua. Now, it is written in 1 Corinthians chapter 14, if any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Adonay. But if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. Wherefore, brethren, covet to prophecy, and forbid not to speak with tongues. Let all things be done decently and in order. Now, the title of today's sermon is Magnifying the Law Decently and in Order. Oftentimes, you're going to hear this statement, let things be done decently and in order. The problem is they don't connect that has to include the law. Whenever you hear the word commandment, it is synonymous, meaning it means the same thing as law. So we have been geared toward accepting one word and not accepting the other word, even though they mean the same thing. So you will have people that said, you know, we're not bound to the law. And then those very people will say, I believe in keeping the commandments, not understanding that they're saying the same thing. So for things to be done decently and in order, something has to decide what the order is. In any gathering, in any organization, there are some type of rules. If you go to the county pool, there are rules. So if you're going to operate at the pool decently and in order, that means that little sign that they have right before you go into the pool that said, no running. There's a reason they have that sign up there, because once the water is on the side of that pool, you can run. And you say, you know what, I ran and then nothing happened. The problem is when you try to stop. When you try to stop and the top of that ground is wet and the bottom of your feet come up under you and you fly, when you get ready to hit the ground, you're going to realize why that sign said no running. But for things to be done decently in order, you have to observe those regulations that are given. So what people have transformed this into is niceness. They said, let things be done decently and in order. They don't mean order. What they mean is just smile while you're doing wrong. Because if things were done decently and in order, then they would be gathering on the Sabbath day. So they gather out of order and then say, let's do things decently and in order. And if it was going according to the regulation, they wouldn't even be there. That's the irony of how often we've heard this term used incorrectly. Let's begin today's sermon in Isaiah chapter 9.
It says, chapter 9 and verse 1. Nevertheless, the dimness shall not be such as was in her vexation, when at the first he lightly afflicted the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, and afterward did more grievously afflict her by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, in Galilee of the nations. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them has the light shined. You have multiplied the nation, and not increased the joy. They joy before you according to the joy in harvest, and as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. For you have broken the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian.
You know, when you look at this in verse 2, the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them has the light shine. There was a death angel that went amongst them in Egypt, but that death angel only took out the firstborn of the Egyptian, the firstborn of the Egyptian cattle. It did not touch the children of Israel. So this shadow of death that passed through there did not touch them. Gross darkness came upon Egypt, but there was light where the children of Israel dwelt. Go ahead.
For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty El, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
So if the government shall be on his shoulder, now we're talking about a system of order that he's establishing. But what we hear is all about love. What we're not hearing is the governmental system that he's setting up. And because we don't think about it that way, we don't recognize that the powers that be definitely work for Lucifer. Because everything that they set up is going against his government. Go ahead.
Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it.
Upon the throne of David. He didn't say upon the throne of love. David is a king. What did David do? He went to war. He was the one that put Israel together in all those various places. He was the one that went and established the government of Yahweh. And then Christ is going to come and sit on that. So whoever told us that he's coming back with a bouquet of roses for love, they have told us so many lies. They have us thinking one thing. He's talking about government. He's talking about sitting on the throne of David. You have to understand how tumultuous it was for David to sit on that throne. He told King David, all right, I anoint you king. And then he made him go get that crown. You need to understand how your God works. Things that he give to you, he don't give to you. He anoints you. He'll tell you it's yours. And then he'll tell you where it's at. Now go get it. He said, look, I ain't finna do everything for you. What, do I work for you? Who the God, who the servant is? He got to go get it for you too. When a kid come and asks, Mama, Daddy, can I have ice cream? Yeah. Okay, do you sit there on the sofa and wait for them to go get it and bring it to you? You ain't gonna get no ice cream today, I can tell you that. Now, if you two, yeah. Once you open that ice box yourself, if I tell you you can have some ice cream and you sit on the sofa looking at me, I can tell you what you ain't gonna get. Matter of fact, if you sit there too long looking at me, I'm gonna go eat up all the ice cream in front of you. Go ahead, Brent.
And to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever.
All right. So he's going to set up justice. There's a governmental system. That means he's coming dealing with the law. So we're talking 98% of the people who claim to believe in him already have an incorrect vision of his mission. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5.
You want to finish that last?
Go ahead, brother.
The zeal of Yahweh of hosts will perform this.
All right, very good. Matthew chapter 5. See, when you don't understand the purpose of something, you are greatly misdirected, and you're actually misdirected very easily. Because you don't understand what it's for. Matthew chapter 5, and let's read verses 13 through 20.
You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted?
All right, so the adversary, the devil, is making a full-on assault, an attempt to make sure that you lose your savor. Go ahead.
It is henceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it gives light unto all that are in the house.
Why do you think you always have to be portrayed in a negative way on television? Because you are such a light that they need to project a certain image of you, because your light is going to shine no matter what you do. So the only way they can make that light go down is to show you in a negative light. But you got a light. People look at you whether you like it or not. They emulate you whether you like it or not. You don't have any control over it. This is why you will see something on the news and you wonder, why is that news? 3 teenagers got caught stealing CDs at the mall. More news at 11. Why in the hell is that news? Somewhere down the street in that trailer park down there, they cut somebody's head off. That didn't even make it to the news. But them stolen DVDs and CDs out of Walmart somehow made it to prime news. Right. Go ahead.
Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Think not that I'm come to destroy the law.
Wait a minute. Think not that I am come to destroy the law. If the government shall be upon his shoulder, if he's going to do all of these things, how can he destroy the law from the government that he is setting up? Then that means he's working against himself. Go ahead.
Think not that I'm come to destroy the law or the prophets. I'm not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
Yet most of the people that say they love him said that they're not subject to the law. Yet the red writing is his. And he says he's not doing away with the law. He's coming to set up a government. How can you do away with law and set up a government? But see, if you don't hear those two right behind each other. See, this is a funny thing about scripture. Sometimes you can say, I read that before. Oh, we read that 2 weeks ago. No. The way scripture works, there are certain things that you need to hear right behind each other. It's like a recipe. You might have a recipe and 5 of those recipes all have eggs in them. And you have to use eggs 5 times. Well, here's the problem. When you mix a certain other additive in it, it tastes totally different. So you have to understand the way scripture works. To paint the picture, certain things need to be heard directly behind something else. So let's say you go in here and you read all of Isaiah. Then you come through and you read all of Matthew. You didn't get the full picture. Because there are certain things where you need to stop and read another part, and then the picture is full. Oh, this connects to that. But by the time you get to the part in Matthew that fits what was written in Isaiah, you don't forgot what you read in Isaiah. That's why it says line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. This is why you can have people that say, I done read the whole Bible. Ask them anything about it. Christ wept. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so.
Wait a minute. If you're gathering on a Sunday, you have taught men to break the commandment. And the irony is these are the people that constantly talking about going to heaven. The ones who not only break the commandments, but teach others to break the commandments, and then they turn around and constantly teach heaven. The ones who actually make a heartfelt attempt at keeping the commandments ain't never talking about going to heaven. Now, if you don't think that's ironic, go ahead.
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Right. So those who actually teach the commandments shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. It didn't say they were going. So even though they shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven because they're doing and keeping and teaching the commandments, they ain't sitting there talking about they going. That's how he know they teaching it. Once he hear you talking about folk going to heaven, he know you ain't teaching it. It's real easy to tell. You can go all the way through this book and find on one hand the amount of people who went to heaven and still have some fingers left over. Go ahead.
For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Now, what is the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees? Are you past their level? You have to first understand the scribes and the Pharisees had great understanding of the laws, statutes, and judgments. I mean, impeccable understanding. Your righteousness is supposed to exceed theirs. So, starting from the base point, do you even have an understanding of what you walk in? Next thing, though, with the scribes and Pharisees, they took care of all the outward things. It says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites, for you pay tithe, which is something that you're going to hear talked about all the time, yet they don't associate that with law. But it says you have omitted the weightier matters of the law. Judgment and mercy, these things you ought to have done and not to have left the other undone. So then the scribes and Pharisees knew the word, but they didn't walk in it. He says all the things that the Pharisees bid you observe, but the things that they do, don't do none of that. See, they were used by the governing authority. See, the Romans and the Greeks used them to keep the people in line. So in other words, they found a way to get inside the governmental system. See, while we're walking around talking about love and all of this, these people are infiltrating governments. This is why a lot of us don't pay any attention to politics. We say, you know what, none of that has anything to do with me. Now, after dealing with this, you'll find out how the adversary operates. He's trying to infiltrate the governmental system of Christ. Go ahead, brother. Did you finish that?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go to Isaiah chapter 42. Isaiah chapter 42, and I want you to read verses 21 through 25.
Yahweh is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable.
Yahweh will magnify the law and make it honorable. When did the law become dishonorable? Why does the law need to be magnified? See, there are too many variations of his word to the point that now there's a common saying now that people will say, you know what, go ahead, brother, and tell your truth. So it ain't the truth. So you got a separate truth than she over there got. It's a different truth. It's only true to you. What kind of truth is that? So now we can tell our truth, but not tell the truth. I'm sorry, but that's a lie. That's a lie. If your truth ain't the truth, it ain't true. But this is a common saying now. Tell your truth. How do we divert from telling the truth to our own truth? Go ahead, Prince.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they're hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivers. For a spoil, and none says, restore. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Yaakov for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not Yahweh, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
Now, you have to look at the irony of here. That's in here. They were not walking his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Then he says, they are robbed and snared in holes in prison houses. Wait a minute. He said, look here, you ain't gonna keep my law. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit you with the Gentile law. You don't want to keep my law? I tell you what, you gonna stay in prison houses. And we have been convinced that we are in prison because we have broken the law of the land. No, you're in prison because you don't follow his law. That's why we're in prison. You realize that in them trailer parks, they done stuff 10 times worse than what happened in the project? We look at the news so much that people who actually went to prison go and be confounded, and they said, where did Gentile come from? So what you mean? Well, I ain't never see them on the news. But I'm looking over there, it's a sea of them over there. How all them get in prison? Because they ain't never on the news doing anything wrong. So how did they get in there? And understand something. For them to get in there, they did what you did 7 times. I mean, they kept trying to let them go. Stop it, Bobby. Bobby, no. You can't keep killing people and cutting off their limbs. Stop it. Now, he did this 6 more times before they say, you know what? You got to go to jail. Now, imagine that. And it's a sea of them over there. And you trying to figure out how they get over there. Right. Go ahead.
Neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore he has poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle.
Right. And he used the Gentiles to do that to you. So while you're walking around blaming the Gentiles for all of the problems that we have, no, this is connected to your non-compliance of his law. He just used the Gentiles as a strap to whoop you. Go ahead.
And it has set him on fire round about, yet he knew it not. And it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart.
All right. Let's go to Genesis chapter 3. And find out that he has always been on destroying the government of Yahweh. He has never changed. Genesis chapter 3, and I just want to read verses 1 through 4.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh Elohim had made.
Which made him perfect for the using of the adversary. So you have to ask, why does something get picked by something else? It says, no, this thing is perfect for him to use. See, one of the things that it talks about that a serpent has a forked tongue. All right? Now, there's a forked tongue physically, and then there's a forked tongue spiritually. A tongue that flaps in 2 different directions. That means it's saying one thing, but it's meaning something different than what it's saying. This thing is perfect for him to use. Go ahead.
And he said unto the woman, Yea, as Elohim said, you shall not eat of the tree of the garden.
Okay, so he talking, but what he talking about ain't really what he talking about. See, his tongue has a division in it. See, sometimes you're talking to people with a divided tongue. And you're taking the word that's coming to you for face value. But there's a division in the words that they're speaking. Go ahead.
And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden.
Now, the one with the forked tongue has already set her up. He already know what was said. See, this is the setup to get you conversing, to talk about what part you understand about the law, about the commandment, about the rule, about the regulation. Now, as he gets her understanding of the regulation, now he finna twist it. Go ahead.
But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim has said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die.
Now, what did he need? He needed her understanding of it so he could know where to twist it. He let her tell every part of what she knew. Now watch what he does. Go ahead.
And the serpent said unto the woman, you shall not surely die.
Gotcha. They need you to talk long enough to figure out which part they're going to twist. You think he didn't know that? No, he wants to know which part is important to you. Oh, you worrying about dying? Oh, that's my angle. So you have to watch that there are certain individuals, when you get ready to talk to them, they will ask you questions inside of questions. It'll be a question with an A, B, C, and D. And you're like, so what is your question? What they want you to do is to respond with what you don't know. Have you ever heard of this? And as soon as they get you to say, no, I've never heard of that, now that's their question. They're going to go in that direction because they think that gives them the best chance at confusing you. They work just like their father. They work just like him with the forked tongue. Let's go to Matthew chapter 4. You know, we say that, the police have all the authority. If you notice that they come up and they asking you all these questions, if you have the authority, why are you asking me? If you have the authority, you got the computers, you got all that. Come up and tell me. So I see it look like you going down Highway 124. Yeah. Instead, they asking you, where you going? What that sign say? It's Highway 124, don't you? You're a policeman. You know what highway you on, don't you? Why you asking me what way I'm going? I'm going north on 124. I'm going that way right now. Where you going? That way. It's on 124. Now they want you to tell your destination. How is that any of your business? I'm going to go see a cat about a dog. What? But with that jurisdiction, they're getting all of this information from you, and sooner or later, something you say is going to wind you up in trouble. You say you did what? You know what? I think I smell marijuana in here. What? I don't smoke. No, I'm pretty sure I smell it. You know what? We need to go ahead and search your car. Now the next word you say is about to get you in deeper trouble. Well, if you're not guilty, you wouldn't mind if we search it. Next thing you know, all your stuff is on the side of Highway 124 going north. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 4 and verse 1. Then was Yahshua led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him...
And we have to make sure we understand the tempter did not come on day one. He went up to be tempted of the devil. The devil has sense enough not to tempt you in your strength. He's going to tempt you in your weakest point. He did not come on day one. He's still strong on day one. We get to getting on our day one and we get to talking. Yeah, I'm out here. Yeah, I'm doing it. That's day one, bro. Bro, you got 39 more days to go. And Mr. Tempter over there just sitting over there, right over there by the bushes. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Yeah. Oh, he just waiting. While you over there self-congratulating, he ain't started yet. Go ahead.
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If you be the son of Elohim, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Elohim. Then the devil takes him up into the holy city, and sets him on a pinnacle of the temple, and says unto him, If you be the son of Elohim, cast yourself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning you, and in their hands they shall bear you up, lest at any time you dash your foot against a stone.
All right, so notice the same strategy that was in the garden. All right, verse 3. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If you be the son of Elohim, command these stones be made bread. Once the answer has come from the word, verse 4, it is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Elohim. All right, verse 5. Then the devil takes him up into the holy city and sets him on a pinnacle of the temple. If you be the son of Elohim, cast yourself down. For it is written, once he went to the word, so did the devil. See, he needs to first see how you going to respond. So these little things where we sit and we ask some of the younger people questions after our class, you need to understand how important that is. The devil going to ask you one question right before you get started. You ain't accustomed to answering the question. You might have yourself in the biggest trouble of your life. And it started with a question. Are you prepared? Because let me tell you something. Even fighters understand. They have a part where they get together for the little conference, a little press conference. You know, the last thing you want to do is get hit with your mouth open. It'll break your jaw. So if you're too busy talking, see, sometimes he's checking you out. Other times he just need to get that mouth to separate. So what you do? Well, how? And when he hit that bottom jaw with it open, oh, that's gone. That's gone. You can go ahead and put that in your backpack and take it home with you, because you ain't talking no more with that mouth. Because he done separated that bottom. But what did he do? He got you to not bite down. There's a reason why they have a mouthpiece in. You bite down. You hit in your mouth, it don't break your jaw. If your mouth is open because you talking, your jaw getting broke. So what does he do? Ask you a question and then punch you in your mouth. Right. Go ahead.
Yahshua said unto him, It is written again, You shall not tempt the Adonay your Elohim. Again the devil takes him up into an exceeding high mountain, and shows him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and says unto him, All these things will I give you, if you will fall down and worship me. Then says Yahshua unto him, Get you hence, Satan, for it is written, You shall worship the Adonay your Elohim, and him only shall you serve.
So he is automatically trying to destroy the governmental system. Wait a minute. The government shall be on his shoulder. Yahshua operates in the same line of his father. He is doing what he has always been setting out to do, to destroy the governmental system. People walking around thinking it's about love and hate. It is about destroying the governmental system of Yahweh and Yahshua. That's what this fight is about. Folks walking around talking about love, they don't even understand the fight. They don't even understand his purpose. He's not coming here to spread love. He's coming here to set up the governmental system, and those commandments is how you show love. But if you get past the governmental system and the commandments and think you're going to go straight to love, you're not already lost. Go ahead.
Then the devil leaves him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. Now when Yahshua heard that Johanan was cast into prison, he departed into Galilee. And leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is upon the sea coast, in the borders of Zebulun and Naphtali, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Esaias the prophet, saying, the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people which sat in darkness saw great light. And to them which sat in the region and shadow of death, light is sprung up.
Here we go. Go ahead.
From that time, Yahshua began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And Yahshua, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simeon called Peter, and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. And he says unto them, follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men.
Wait a minute. So then what is he doing? At this point now, he's gathering his cabinet of his leadership. Well, Lucifer came to him before he even picked his people. He hadn't even set up the other parts of his government. Lucifer was already there testing him before he picked his people. Go ahead.
You know, Elder, when you look at verse 6, he said, he shall give his angels charge concerning you, and he was tempting him to dash himself down. It says, verse 11, then the devil leaves him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. He didn't have to dash himself down, the angels still came.
Hey, the adversary always wants you to do something out of time. Everything is about the being out of sync. You know, we have drinks that are for kids and drinks that are for adults. When a kid tries to skip the line and say, I want to get the adult drink, and they get that drink too early, it destroys things inside their body. Not that that drink was poison. It would not be poison if they had done it once they got grown. But because they did it to a little bitty body, now it's destroying that body. So what the adversary wants you to do is to do something and desire it earlier than Yahweh has prescribed it for you. And that will in turn destroy you. And if we only had patience, all of the things that the adversary is tempting us with, we're going to get anyway. He tell you, you're going to have all these things. I'm going to have all them things anyway. I serve Yahweh. My daddy rich. I didn't follow you. I didn't follow you to get that. My daddy own everything. And see, your daddy ain't going to give it to you until you get certain parts of your life right. See, the adversary don't care if you die. So he'll give you a motorcycle, but you never learn how to ride a bike. And then laugh when you hit the tree. Bam, look at that. Boy, you done hurt yourself, ain't you? Look at you. Boy, you all gross. Boy, look at that. Oh, boy, look at that. See, your daddy, he gonna tell you no. Dad, I want this Kawasaki. No, what you gonna get it there? Huffy. All right? You're gonna get a Huffy-Saki. All right? What you gonna do? You're gonna learn how to ride this Huffy-Saki. And then we'll talk about the Kawasaki. Lucifer don't care if you die. He don't care if you hurt yourself. He get it to you right away. And because we are gift-oriented, now we want to go to the fun parent. See, that's how Lucifer portrays himself as the fun parent. Yeah. I get anything when I go over Daddy Devil house. Right. Go ahead, Prince.
Verse 20, and they straightway left their nets and followed him. And going on from thence, he saw other two brethren, Jacob the son of Zebedee, and Johanan his brother, in a ship with Zebedee their father, mending their nets. And he called them. And they immediately left the ship and their father and followed him.
They immediately left the ship. He is building his government right there. Let's go to Revelation chapter 12. See, it matters how we look at something. Because if we keep looking at this process of the second coming of Christ, and we take on what the nations are telling us, we take on what we're hearing by word of mouth, that this is this love gathering, then we don't understand what is taking place. And when you don't understand the nature of something, you are going to be truly shocked when it goes down, and it might harm you to the point where you can't go forward. Because you're expecting this lamb. When you walk around the corner and you're expecting a lamb, and the mane of a lion is sitting there, you didn't prepare yourself to meet a lion. You prepared yourself to meet a lamb. So you out there with flip-flops on. You got loose clothes, and you're not going preparing in case I have to run. Let me grab my staff. Let me get let me get that sword. Let me get all of these things, because there's a lion that walks among out here. So you prepare for what you know. So with having the entire world expect the lamb, they are not prepared for the power that they are about to witness. They said, some men's heart shall fail them for fear. What are they going to be afraid of? What is going to be so frightening? They have not prepared their minds for the greatest power that they've ever seen. They are preparing for a harmless lamb. That is not what they're about to see. Go ahead, brother.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads.
All right, so this woman with the crown of 12 stars, it is Israel, this very same 12 tribes, and then Yeshua, in setting up the governmental system, went and got his 12 disciples to represent for this governmental system. Now, here then is this great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now you see the governmental system set up by Satan on the earth. This is Babylon and all the various kings that have fought for Babylonian control and over the power that they have over the earth. So you're still dealing with governments here. I know when you read this, and a lot of y'all see Lord of the Rings. This is what pops into your mind right now. Keep going.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and he did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. This child, this Christ, did not he go to him right away? First of all, he had his government to try to kill him as soon as he tried to kill him before he was born. Okay, go ahead. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto Elohim and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared of Elohim, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels.
So after the adversary tries deceptive measures to destroy the rulership of Yahweh, and that doesn't work, then he goes to full-on war. Go ahead.
And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceives the whole world. He he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
So at this point, now, once this war happens, the earth shall be filled with Satan and his angels permanently. Not a going and coming. Remember, there was a part where we read in Job, and I says, where have you been? Up and down, to and fro. Going up and down in the earth, walking up and down in it. Okay. Ain't gonna be no walking up and down no more. Then they gonna be permanently here. We think we got problems. We think we have issues. We go to whining all day long. Oh, woe is me. Oh, me is woe. Wait till them angels ain't got nowhere else to go. And they angry. Because they can't get back to where they are from. Y'all know when we can't get home, we have a tendency to take it out on whatever's around us. And you around them. And they specifically have a problem with you. They come to the earth, they're not angry with all humankind. They're not angry with all man. Even though all man was his creation. He has set a certain group of people to be his peculiar treasure. Well, what do you think he's going to do? He has gotten evicted from his place of authority. All those who joined him in his coup, and it didn't work, now they're on the earth. Now, guess what else is on the earth? Oh, that peculiar treasure that he liked so much. You know what? You know what? He's not interested in everybody on the earth. No. No. He has a vendetta against the one he is pretending to be. He says, I'm going to be just like the Most High. Well, you need to take out something. See, chess, you win the game, but you got to capture the queen. Now, wait a minute. Yahweh says, I'm married unto Israel. Well, you know, that board is black and white. If it's board in black and white, you got good versus evil in their little portrayal here. Now, this game, you are winning this game when you get his queen. You do understand you're the queen, right? So Yahweh is trying to protect you while Lucifer is trying to take you. And most of the times, we side with Lucifer. Go ahead, Priya.
And I heard a loud voice sing in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our Elohim and the power of his anointed one. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night.
Day and night he accused us. And understand now, his accusations, the adversary of the devil is so slick and deceptive, he sets you up to go somewhere and then go and tell on you. He send you the invitation. Then go tell Yahweh, I bet you don't know what's Esaac at. Oh, why don't you go take a look? Hey, how you know he was there? Because I told him to go over there. I mean, he was stupid, he went. He knew he your servant, he shouldn't have went. He can't wait to tell on you. After he persuades you to go. Go ahead.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down onto you, having great anger.
Great anger. Now imagine now, you're expecting, the people have told you that there's this lamb coming with love, and even before you get the lovely lamb, you got an angry devil. And he got a crew He's not just angry by himself. He got peeps. Nobody's preparing you for that mentally. And how, what they do to make the people feel calm about this, they said, you're going to float off in the air. So even when the people didn't read this, they said, oh my goodness, it's going to be an angry devil coming down here. I'm so glad, child, we're going to be in heaven. Right. So now they are still not prepared. Imagine getting ready to fight Mike Tyson, but you ain't been in the gym. You ain't did a push-up to the first. You eating ho-hos and ding-dongs. Your stomach laying over your little waistband. And just for good measure, Mike don't even hit you in the head. He hit you in that little shaky gut that you got right there, just so he can watch it shake. Bow! He's not even trying to make you go down right away, because he can look at you and tell you ain't been training. You didn't respect me as an opponent. You didn't. I can see all that chubbiness around your body. You ain't been working out at all. So man, I'm a champion. You didn't even respect that you was about to go up against a champion. You didn't know to cut yourself off from the pleasures of life to prepare. Oh, I need you to listen. You didn't know that you should cut yourself off from some of the pleasures of life to prepare for this fight. You didn't know that. Go ahead, Prince.
Because he knows that he has but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast onto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child.
So he didn't persecute the whole earth. Oh, he only wants to persecute one group of people. Take a wild guess at who those people are. Yet people are telling you to prepare for paradise. They're telling you prepare to go to heaven. Yet you got a gang that's coming for you. A spiritually gifted gang. We're scared of the Bloods and the Crips. This is a spiritually gifted gang who has a vendetta. And they gonna use you for the problem that they have with your God. He's trying to capture you. See, he thinks that if he can capture you, he can make Yahweh change his mind. So he needs to capture the queen. See, that woman with that crown. Wait a minute. What do you think a woman with a crown is? What do you think a woman with a crown is? She's queen. All right. So he needs to capture the queen. That's you, Israel. And every move on the board is meant to shield you. But you keep jumping out of position. He putting other people in front of you to shield you. What does he say? I will give men's life for you. What he doing? He moving other people around so they can't get to you. And you step right outside the head. Hey, what they doing over there? Go ahead, priest.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she's nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was angry with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Elohim and have the testimony of Yahshua HaMashiach.
Wait a minute. So then now the fight gets even more directed. Okay? Now he says, I want a specific group of those people. So you have the people as a whole. Then you have those who understand who they are. He said, I need to go get them. Are we preparing? Let's go to Genesis chapter 11. See, we're doing one thing, and what we're watching as two kings go to war. But we have been told that it's a love fest about to happen. Genesis chapter 11, and let's read verses 1 through 9.
And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men built. And Yahweh said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do.
So he sees a problem with their operation. Yet people will tell us that any kind of division that you have is a problem. See, God is love, and we shouldn't have divisions among people. Keep reading.
Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech.
So it was the Most High that said, separate these ethnic groups. What do we constantly encounter? Everybody trying to push all the groups back together. We don't understand. That is an assault against Yahweh's governmental system. See, we think we're being inclusive. What you're being is a rebel. And he says, I'm going to bring all of Israel out in the places where I've scattered them, but I'm going to cast out the rebels from among them. They're going to come out the lands where they were, but they will not go into my land. Go ahead.
So Yahweh scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because Yahweh did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did Yahweh scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
So it was Yahweh's intent to divide the people. He said if he does not divide these people, they are going to get to evil very quickly. And everything we encounter, we hear that they are trying to put things back to make their one world system, their new world order. See, and they formulate it as if they're doing us a favor. See, it's like the difference when you deal with Cain's offering. We think that just because something is offered that Yahweh have to accept it. He does not have to accept it just because you offered it. And this is why when something looks one way and it's being directed to us, then we kind of get caught up with the images. But Yahweh will do some things that don't seem like it's in order, but it is. When we were when we first got to this property and we put up the fence was a big project, for us to do that. It was an expensive project. All right. Yahweh did not. There were other issues that needed to be addressed in this building. Now, if I had known that we were going to have to take the siding down, put wood all around the whole structure, rewrap it, and put new siding up, I would have never done the fence. Because to me, that makes sense. Yahweh knew that I was smartly stupid. So, what he did, he didn't show us. So, he let us do the whole fence. Let us cut down trees you know what? I want you to look behind that little piece right there. Come to figure out the whole building was done wrong like that. But he wanted the outside completely secured before we start working on the inside. Now see, my way made sense to me. Because there's no way I would have spent that kind of money working on a fence if we need to secure the structure. It just don't make sense. It wasn't common sense, but apparently Yahweh used rare sense. But see, this is how we then all of a sudden get out of whack. So we got a fence that costs a couple $1,000, and then we got Jake giving us a $50 water hose. Jake, $2 is more useful for the fence. $2 is more useful for the thousands that we got to spend inside it. Your $50 limp water hose is not useful at all. This is that part where Yahweh starts dealing with you. Are you going to follow his government, or are you going to be a rebel? Because sometimes his way don't make sense to you. It just didn't make sense to do a fence before you did decide it. It just did not make sense. That's why he didn't tell me. Because he knew what I was going to do. He knew we wouldn't have no fence. And see, the thing is, we wouldn't have no fence because I would have looked at the money and said, no, we ain't got no money to do no fence. He knew better. See, sometimes he do things to protect you from you. He said, you know what? You got so much sense, you stupid. Follow what I'm telling you. And he leads you out of order so that you can be in his order. Now I tell people, it made perfect sense if you don't think about it. Yeah, let that sit there. Go to the next graphic here. So the adversary wants to push everything together. Yahweh said he confounded. Go ahead and read that.
New World Order, Novus Order Seclorum. Novus Order Seclorum is a Latin phrase that translates to a new order of the ages. It appears on the reverse side of the Great Seal of the United States and beneath the pyramid on the U.S. $1 bill.
Now understand, now this is a broken off British colony, if you will. There are over 50 colonies or commonwealth that Britain has. They have these things all over the globe. Okay? America is just one of them. You need to consider that this whole experiment of democracy is a piece of Mother Babylon that broke off. One piece. There's 50 other pieces. Go ahead.
Origin and history. Translation, Novus means new, Ordo means order or arrangement, and Seclorum means of ages or generations. Source, the phrase was adapted from the line in the Eclogues of Virgil, an ancient Roman poem. Designer Charles Thompson, who designed the Great Seal, chose the phrase in 1782 to mark the start of the new American era following the Declaration of Independence in 1776.
So consider what's happening. This new world has put together then various people. They call it the melting pot because people from all over the earth have converged here in this place. Now, the issue with that is these people are made differently, and we don't really consider what that means. So when we go back and remember something that was in Genesis, when it says about Cain, it says, your brother's blood calls out from the ground. I want you to read this thing about blood here. And we'll tie this in because we push all of these people together, but people were not made to be in all of these regions. What happened is your body is constructed for the place that you're supposed to be in. Okay? So when you get out of that place, you're going to have to operate like you're somewhere else, meaning you might have to get extra nutrients to survive because you're not getting the ingredients from the land, from the sun that you're supposed to get where you're supposed to be. Go ahead.
The Duffy trait or Duffy null phenotype, DANC, is a normal genetic variation tied to ancestry, most common in people of West African descent. It causes red blood cells to lack the Duffy antigen protein, which historically provided evolutionary protection against malaria and results in a naturally lower white blood cell neutrophil count without raising infection risk.
All right, so then when they check these people's blood, they're going to have a lower white blood cell count. Now keep going.
Key facts about the Duffy trait. Ancestry linked, found in about 2/3 of Black Americans and up to 100% of populations in certain parts of West Africa. Not a disease, it is a healthy biological variation formerly called benign ethnic neutropenia, now more accurately termed Duffy null associated neutrophil count. Medical misdiagnosis risk. Standard blood test reference ranges were built using data mostly from people of European descent. As a result, doctors sometimes misinterpret normal Duffy null counts as a sign of illness.
So then you go to the doctor and they say something wrong with you. We need to give you some medicine. Because your blood ain't like their blood. Go ahead.
Leading to unnecessary, expensive, or invasive testing like bone marrow biopsies.
Expensive, invasive, it hurt. And the whole thing is unnecessary because they have their data based on somebody else's body and blood, not yours. Now, one of these things that we have to consider, we have, and especially black people have this problem with sickle cell, having one copy of the sickle cell gene creates, that means you have the sickle cell trait, creates a hostile internal environment for the malaria parasite, restricting its growth, causing infected cells to be cleared early by the spleen and preventing severe life-threatening illness. You get two of them, now you got sickle cell anemia. But one trait was to fight malaria. Why? Because you from West Africa. That trait was there to protect you from malaria. Get one more of them trait, now you got sickle cell anemia. Go ahead, bro.
How the protection works. Stunted parasite growth. The malaria parasite consumes hemoglobin and changes the internal chemistry of the red blood cell, making it more acidic and lowering oxygen levels. In someone with the trait, this environment causes the abnormal hemoglobin to clump or polymerize, which starves and kills the developing parasite.
All right, so when they clump or polymerize, this starves and kills the developing parasite. You know, that's how the guy who developed the blood types, how he found it out. He started looking at blood and said, why do some of the blood clump up? That means he was looking at our blood when he figured out the whole thing. This is the part of the thing they don't tell you. This that part that they don't tell you. Wait a minute. As you start looking at our blood, he said, why this one clump up? But then if he was looking at the clump, then he's looking at something that has this variant. He then wanted to know why it has this variant. He said, only the people with West African descent have this clump. Oh, that is what's protecting them from malaria. Wait a minute. That was needed because of where you lived. Where they end up shipping all of us. See, understand something. They will constantly refer to Israel as the Middle East. Israel is in Africa. They will never tell you that. They will never, ever tell you that. They keep talking about Egyptians, blah, blah, blah. The only people they will accept, what Israel will accept, are Ethiopians, because you cannot change their names to list them, didn't change. And they didn't have another name, so they had to keep dealing with the Ethiopian part. So then they have to say, all right, we'll accept Ethiopians as Israel. Well, wait a minute. Why they look so different from you then? You'll accept the philosopher who ran over there and hid, and they were able to hide amongst the Egyptians, the Africans. Well, how is it they don't look like Gentiles like you? Right. Go ahead, bro.
Early destruction of infected cells. When the abnormal hemoglobin changes the shape of an infected red blood cell, the spleen recognizes the cell as damaged and filters it out of the bloodstream much faster than normal, destroying the parasite before it can multiply. Reduce sticking power. Parasitized cells with sickle cell trait are less able to stick to the walls of tiny blood vessels, cytoadherence, which stops the dangerous accumulation of infected cells that typically cause severe organ damage and malaria.
All right, let's go to Revelation chapter 18. So, as we are moving, okay, and we are now presented with other nationalities. Well, now we're procreating with people who have different blood types. Now, those blood types that were made one way to protect you from where you came from now is mixing with a blood type that is made for a different purpose. So you find that people of color have eumelanin. People of European descent have like phenomelanin. All right, the eumelanin blocks UV rays. The other type of melanin, when it gets the sun, it starts sending free radicals and starts sending a destructive part throughout their body. Now, why does that matter? The Europeans were meant to be in a cold place without lots of sun. The melanin that is in their body does not react to cold. This is why when we around Euro Gentiles, we'll realize that it is freezing in the room and they walk around with shorts on. Well, their blood type is that way. Then you, on the other hand, because you were built to be in the sun, your melanin blocks sun because you're supposed to be very close to it. Then it sends, different kind of antioxidants and things in your body when you're close to that sun. Well, what happened, then you have us mixing with people. Now you have biracial children who have both of those systems running inside of their body at the same time. Now they need a different type of nutrients to be able to handle both of those systems running in their body. And you don't hear any of that. You don't get any information that, hey, you need to do something different. Like they tell us over here, milk does the body good. Milk been killing us since the day we got here. It causes our prostate to enlarge. It don't do that to Gentiles. It don't do that to them. So there's certain foods that we just cannot eat. And it would be beneficial to you if you found out, because you don't then eat it 30 years and then figure out, man, this has been slowly killing me. It is better that you have a reaction. You get sick, you get hurt. You get hurt, you can change your program. When you don't get hurt and it's silently destroying you, now you consume that for 30 years And by the time you figure out that it was bad for you, you on your deathbed. All because we're in a place operating on a diet and in an atmosphere that we were not designed to be in. And now, the first thing we wanted to do is get out of the country and to get out of them fields. Now, guess what? Now we inside all day. Now, your melanin blocks the sun, but now you ain't in no sun. Now, guess what? Not being outside is now giving you cancer because now it is blocking everything because you never go outside. And people will say, you know what, I'm too black. I ain't going out there. You know what's funny? The blacker you are, the more you're supposed to be outside. Because the darker you are, the more melanin is the more of the sun rays is being blocked. So if you don't go outside, you're not getting any of the sun. You're not getting any vitamin D. You are being destroyed by your computer job. And we go to school so we cannot be outside.
That's why I went to college. I don't be out there on the road with them people out there like the chain gang. No, I'm going to school so I can work in a nice air-conditioned environment.
Right. And an air-conditioned job is going to give you cancer. Because you are not made to be here. So when you finish your little air-conditioned job, you should go out there and bake in the driveway. Right. Go ahead, Bree.
Revelation chapter 18 and verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunken of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Elohim has remembered her lawlessness. Reward her, even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she has filled to her double. How much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she says in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
Wait. She says, I sit a queen. So if Yahweh got a queen, and this chest, Lucifer has to have one too, don't he? Come on, man. It's more than one queen on the board, right? Mm-hmm. Ain't there two queens on the board? Okay. All right, go ahead.
Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. For strong is the Adonay Elohim, who judges her. And the kings of the earth, who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, shall bewail her and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is your judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buys her merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves.
And slaves. Go ahead.
And souls of men. And the fruits that your soul lusted after are departed from you, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from you, and you shall find them no more at all.
Right. And see, when we go past and we read those things and it says slaves, we say, well, you know, that must have been the old time. not understanding that when it says they're snared in holes and they're hid in prison houses, they created their prison system right after they so-called abolished slavery. Slavery didn't stop. It just changed in the name. Even in their little law, they said, slavery is abolished, except by use of somebody being punished for a crime. So then what did they do? Create laws to make sure that you would be punished, thereby reenacting slavery. So that means that there's a certain amount of people that must go to the prison system to maintain their slavery. They call it the school to prison pipeline. There are certain schools where the people are being raised for prison. You're going to find that certain communities have more people that go to prison, and they were being conditioned for it. What I was, amazed by when me and Priest Kish went to go and teach in the prison, I was amazed at how much the prison looked like a school. That kind of threw me. I said, wait a minute, man, because I had a little county lockup situation, but I ain't never been farther than that, Here, we went deep in. We went so deep in, I was like, is you good? He's like, I don't know. Look, I don't know either, brother. It's deeper than I ever been, brother. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been back this far. And you realize that, you know what I'm saying, it's everywhere you go at 2 gates. No 2 gates are open at the same time. Oh, I said, this. Then they put you in one of them rooms and you realize, wait a minute, man, this looks just like a school. Everything is cinder blocks and bars. I said, they could easily turn the school into a prison at any time. This is a school. So, when they gear you towards certain things, we're talking the lunch tray, we're talking operating by the bells. You move when the bell moves. What do you think else moves just like that? That operates exactly like school? Jail! So there are certain communities where they are born and they feel comfortable in jail. They get right out of jail, and people like, why are you right back out here wilding? I mean, all they're going to do is put me in jail. You okay with that? I got accustomed to it. When I saw that my brother wasn't scared to go to jail, I was like, what, bro? You doing this? You going to go to jail? I said, what? Hey, this is where I get out. This my stop. This my stop. You ain't scared? I remember one time they were going to let my brother out early. He said, no, I ain't getting out of there. I said, what? He said, no, man, all they going to do is try to use their probation, use it against me, and throw me back in here, and then recharge me for the same thing and give it to me fully. I ain't finna hear all that, man. Let me just go ahead and do mine to the door. I said, what? I said, bro, you hard, man. You hard, bro. Because they told me, look here, you can get out Wednesday. Hey, Tuesday night, I'll be down. Hey, boy, stop. Boy, stop. Boy. Go ahead, Bree. Well, yeah.
Verse 16. And saying, go back to 15. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, you heaven, and you holy apostles and prophets, for Elohim has avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in you, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in you, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in you, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in you, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in you. For your merchants were the great men of the earth, for by your sorceries were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets.
In her was found the blood of prophets. So this Babylon, which shall be destroyed and uninhabitable. After this Babylon is destroyed, no one will live there. They will not be able to live there. This lets you know we're dealing with some kind of nuclear destruction here. Because if it becomes uninhabitable, say only animals can live in a nuclear environment. Now the irony of that is she is the only one who's used a nuclear weapon and threatens the earth constantly with its use again. Yet, what seems to be described is a nuclear event. Now that is ironic. But what did it say? Do unto her as she has done unto others. Wait a minute. Nobody else has used this weapon. See, that's what I said. Do whatever that is you want. I tell these young people all of that. Tell my own kid. Do whatever that is you feel like you need to do. Just make sure you remember it. Because it's going to come back. See, we done forgot by the time it come back. The only place that has used that type of weapon, yet this that is being described, there are places where it says their tongue's going to consume in their mouth. Their eyes going to dissolve in the holes. What is that? That's nuclear. So the only place who has used one, the scripture is talking about them experiencing it. You should go and read some of the stuff that happened after Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Oh, it'll be an interesting read for you. You should read some of the long time birth defects that the people had after that. Some of the things that happened to them. Even people saying, look, they had already won. They didn't have to use the weapon. They did it for the hell of it. They already won. They said, look here, we'll spend all this time practicing this thing. We need to go ahead and test this thing out. The destruction was massive. Matter of fact, look at where they did some of the testing on the Marshall Islands. Look at what some of those people were going through. Because they buried the radioactive waste around in their area, did those tests. We're talking about people born with defects for quite some time on the test. And the test was much lighter than the actual weapon. And they knew that it was going to destroy those places where they did it. They knew exactly what it was going to do. So when the scripture says this, do unto her as she has done. You don't understand that we need cleansing. Why? That same dollar that we showed, some of those dollars came out your check. So let me tell you what that means. That means you paid for some of the weapons that gave those people birth defects. Oh, but you feel good about yourself. You said, I ain't do it, right? Well, you paid for it. What happened if somebody helped somebody buy drugs? Don't they hold those people accountable? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, you helped purchase the weapons that mutilated these people. Do you think you are spiritually held not liable? Is that what you think? There's the cleansing that we know we need, and there's the cleansing that we don't have a clue about. Go ahead, preach. Where you at?
End of verse 24. And of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth.
All right. Let's go to James chapter 5. And let's read verses 1 through 12. So this great, mighty place that will affect the entire world also just happened to have a connection to slaves. That's quite peculiar. That is quite peculiar. This great place, it is the hammer of the whole earth, and it deals in merchandise specifically connected to slaves. This is New Testament that we're reading, and it's talking about this end time of this great place. Okay. James chapter 5, let's start at verse 1.
Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, cries. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Adonay of Sabbath. You have lived in pleasure on the earth, and been wanting. You have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. You have condemned and killed the just, and he does not resist you. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Adonay. Behold, the husbandman waits for the precious fruit of the earth, and has long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. Be you also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Adonay draws near. Grudge not one against another, brethren, lest you be condemned. Behold, the judge stands before the door. Take, my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Adonay for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience.
Right. Once we suffer anything, we want it to be over immediately. We're not patient in suffering. We're not patient when it comes down to things like that. Go ahead.
Behold, we count them happy which endure. You have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Adonay, that the Adonay is very pitiful and of tender mercy. But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yes be yes, and your no, no, lest you fall into condemnation.
All right. So one of the things here that was said, the pay of your workers have been kept back by fraud. We talk about, now right before this, it talked about how rich the nation was in Revelation 18. Next, you have the keeping back of the pay by fraud. Now, at current time, there's been about $113 billion spent on the Iran war. But they said we needed to cut costs in government because we was wasting money. 113 billion so far. It's not over. All right. So now it says here during the president's second term, federal workforce reduction efforts led heavily by the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, that he created, approximately 300,000 federal civil service positions were eliminated or left vacant through layoffs, buyout, and pressured resignations. Brother, I want you to go into that a little bit for me.
Breakdown of federal workforce reductions. Total departures, roughly 300,000 to 348,000 federal workers left government employment through layoffs, retirements, and resignations during the administration's initial push.
Now, you need to understand that some of these people never received a separation letter, so they were never able to get unemployment. The first thing that happens when you leave a place, they're supposed to give you a separation letter if they tell you you no longer work here. Your work is no longer needed. Where is my separation paper? My separation paper is what I take to the Department of Labor, and they start giving me unemployment. A lot of these people didn't get that. Okay, go ahead.
Department of Defense suffered the largest numerical reduction, losing over 600,000 civilian personnel.
Now, does it sound like a good idea to lay off Department of Defense and then go to war? Does that seem like a good idea? Go ahead.
Department of Education experienced massive proportional cuts, reducing its total workforce by more than half through targeted layoffs. Agency actions, reductions included hiring freezes, cancellation of job postings, deferred resignation programs, and the closure of specific subcomponents, though numerous individual cuts face legal challenges.
Right, but at the same time, it was said that this stuff is wasteful. $113 billion is the tally so far of what's happening. Yet we didn't have enough money to keep paying these people. All right, let's go to the next graphic for me.
Building new ballroom, UFC fight on the lawn of the White House. President Donald Trump's administration has been proceeding with a controversial project to build a massive new 90,000 square foot state ballroom where the White House East Wing previously stood.
Right, so it's already been knocked down for this new project. Go ahead.
However, construction is currently facing major legal roadblocks, with a federal appeals court ruling that the project requires congressional approval.
So it's wasteful to have the federal workers, but the new ballroom was needed. This follows the operation of America, where they say, we don't have the money to pay you. You go to a job. You understand why they operate like this? This is how they operate all throughout. You go to a job, you say, I've been working here, I've been doing a good job, I've been doing such and such, and I have not gotten a raise. They said the money just ain't here. I mean, we look, the finances just they're not there for you to get a raise. You know what? Look, I'm going to talk to you later. My new Ferrari just got here. What? So there's not a room for me to get a 50-cent raise, but you got another Ferrari. This is not your main Ferrari. You got a Ferrari for your Ferrari. There's not, but there were funds for that. Well, why do the businesses operate like that way? Because this is the way the government, the top of the echelon, operate this way. They say the money is not there. So they hold back the wages of the people, but get lavish things for themselves. This is the way of democracy. Go ahead.
Project details and background. Location, the site of the former White House East Wing, which was demolished in late 2025. Costing and funding, estimated around $400 million to $600 million.
Now, we can't keep paying these federal workers. It's too many of them. But $600 million for a new wing is a steal. Apparently. Go ahead.
The administration maintains costs are funded through private donations.
You don't see a problem right there? Why would any American building be built with private funds? If it's built with private funds and it also has some private control, that is a problem. Major red flag. You know, a lot of people have been watching FIFA. You know, they watch the games here, right? All of a sudden, one of the Kushners put together a program to buy into FIFA. FIFA went so crazy, team said, I'm pulling out. If you decide to make it public and start trading, and that just so happened to be one of the Kushners. So one of the Kushners, Jared, is married to the president's daughter. Well, the brother of Jared, Joshua Kushner, is the one that was going to lead into buying in on FIFA. FIFA just so happened to give him some kind of prize to Trump. It's a lot of connections here, a lot of money changing hands, but the government workers just could not get paid. This is just too much. All right, you go back. The pay of them who have reaped your fields you have held back by fraud. What is fraud? Deception. When you say you don't have the money, but then go and do something else that's far above the money that you say you didn't have. Go ahead.
Though reports and critics dispute the funding mechanisms and potential taxpayer exposure, design and purpose designed to host large-scale events like state dinners to prevent lawn damage from temporary tents alongside reinforced security features, bunkers, and a glass bridge connection. Current legal status. Court rulings. A federal appeals court panel ruled that the unilateral demolition and construction lack lawful executive authority without explicit authorization from Congress.
All right. So, a lot of governmental things going on right there. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 17. You know, you should come up with a question. Why would somebody who is only supposed to be in office 4 years building a ballroom for permanent things that's going to happen later? Unless they never plan on leaving. Man, you ever see somebody get an apartment and then say, you know what, I'm going to add a wing on to the apartment. you know you don't own this, right? You know this is not yours. Now, why you building onto the apartment? Now, imagine the apartment people come in like, hey, what did wall tore down? You know what, man, I think I'm going to add on to that. I think, you know what I'm saying, y'all had this little 1-bedroom. I said, I need at least 2 more. I need at least a 3-bedroom. So you knocked down our wall? Yeah, wasn't nobody on that wall. What? You know this is not yours. You can't do that. Right. Right. Deuteronomy chapter 17. Let's start at verse 1.
You shall not sacrifice unto Yahweh your Elohim any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish or any ill-favoredness, for that is an abomination unto Yahweh your Elohim. If there be found among you within any of your gates which Yahweh your Elohim gives you, man or woman, that has wrought wickedness in the sight of Yahweh your Elohim, in transgressing his covenant, and has gone and served other gods, and worshipped them, either the sun or moon, or any of the hosts of heaven, which I have not commanded. And it be told you, and you have heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold it be true, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought in Israel, then shall you bring forth that man or that woman which has committed that wicked thing unto your gates, even that man or that woman, and shall stone them with stones till they die.
So then, when something is done wrong in Israel, then it has to be spoken of so that righteous judgment can be rendered. I want you to understand that concept. Keep reading.
At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. But at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. The hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people. So shall you put the evil away from among you.
So you have to put evil away from you. Then what has been done wrong by Israel has to be spoken of. All right, keep reading.
If there arise a matter too hard for you in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within your gates, then shall you arise, and get you up into the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose. And you shall come unto the priests, the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show you the sentence of judgment. And you shall do according to the sentence which they of the place which Yahweh shall choose shall show you. And you shall observe to do according to all that they inform you, according to the sentence of the law which they shall teach you, and according to the judgment which they shall tell you, you shall do. You shall not decline from the sentence which they shall show you, to the right hand nor to the left. And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that stands to minister there before Yahweh Elohim, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and you shall put away the evil from Israel. And all the people shall hear and fear, and do no more presumptuously. When you are come into the land which Yahweh Elohim gives you, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. You shall in any wise set him king over you, whom Yahweh Elohim shall choose, one from among your brethren.
One from among your brethren. Go ahead.
Shall you set king over you. You may not set a stranger over you, which is not your brother.
You may not set a stranger over you, which is not your brother. So, bottom line, voting for the president was something that we just can't do. Because the only brother that ran for that was Jesse Jackson. Obama told you that he wasn't your people. He told all of us. He said, my wife is descendant from slaves, not me. That little small statement lets you know. He's like, I ain't the same as y'all. Black folk didn't hear that.
They heard we had first black president. Oh my goodness.
And he got in there and didn't do nothing for nobody black. The Gentile did more for black people than the so-called black president. But he told you then again he wasn't black. Now that what they say he is, he helped that. He did a lot of good things for the pride people. He passed a lot of good things for peoples, for menses. They got the menses got a lot of good things happen to them. Matter of fact, they tried to spread their menses law all over the earth. Now that he pushed. But anything that helped our people, absolutely not a thing. But we did not listen. You may not set someone over you that is not of your people. All right, let's go to Hosea chapter 8. We go to voting for these people. We don't know who these people are. They present laws that they themselves ain't even read because somebody put it together for them. So they're sponsoring a bill that they themselves haven't read. 400-page bill. You ask them about it, they can tell you some highlights. But some company of people have put that bill together for them. Hosea chapter 8, and let's start that at verse 1.
Set the trumpet to your mouth. He shall come as an eagle against the house of Yahweh, because they have transgressed my covenant and trespassed against my law. Israel shall cry unto me, my Elohim, we know you. Israel has cast off the thing that is good. The enemy shall pursue him. They have set up kings, but not by me.
They have set up kings, but not by me. Wait a minute. So now, the devil is so good and understanding that he needs to disrupt the government of Yahweh and Yahshua. Now he got us doing it. He has now convinced us to do his job. So now we're setting up kings that have absolutely no connection to Yahweh. Lucifer winning. He got you to do his job. Go ahead.
They have made princes, and I knew it not.
Uh-huh.
Of their silver and of their gold have they made them idols, but they made them idols that they may be cut off. Your calf, O Samaria, has cast you off. Mine anger is kindled against them. How long will it be ere they attain to innocency? For from Israel was it also. The workman made it. Therefore it is not Elohim, but the calf of Samaria shall be broken in pieces. For they have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. It has no stalk. The bud shall yield no meal. If so be it yield, the stranger shall swallow it up.
All right. That's as far as I want to go right there. Let's go to Matthew chapter 2. So now that the adversary got us setting up kings for our own purpose. They have no connection to Yahweh, and now they can tell us they have no connection, and we still want them over us. Matthew chapter 2, and I want you to start at verse 1.
And again he entered into Capernaum after some days.
Where you at?
That's Mark, I'm sorry. Wrong M. Matthew chapter 2. Now when Yahshua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east of Jerusalem.
Now, Herod is set up by the Euro-Gentile rulership. So, they are having a Gentile ruler direct our people. So this infiltration of government is exactly how the nations operate. So they're not just trying to infiltrate the government spiritually, they're doing it on a physical level as well. Go ahead.
Saying, where is he that was born king of the Yehudims? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him.
Right, because as a agent for the Gentiles, he needs to disrupt any holy leadership. He's troubled when he hears this. We got to get into this and disrupt it. Go ahead.
And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where the Mashiach should be born. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet.
Right. Now you understand why things are written in a way that they can't just figure it out. So he acts as though he wants to come and worship, but he wants to destroy it so he can keep his position in power. If a king arises from the true Hebrew people, then he loses his position. Go ahead.
And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judea, are not the least among the princes of Judea, for out of you shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, and said, go and search diligently for the young child. And when you have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also.
Right, he's going to worship him with a knife. Yeah, show me where he at. I'm going to come and worship. Yeah, I'm gonna bring my sword. I mean, my Bible. Yeah, I'm gonna bring the sword of Elohim. Yeah, right. Go ahead.
When they had heard the king, they departed. And, lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was.
Now, you're going to learn something about Yahweh, that when you are operating for him, you are on a need-to-know basis. Herod said, when you find him, bring word to me that I may worship him. He is doing this straight-faced, but he speaks just like his daddy, the serpent. Him got forked tongue. He says one thing, but he means something else. But Yahweh does not reveal that to them yet. Go ahead.
When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Miriam his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned of Elohim in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way.
Now he gives them a dream. Don't go back that way. Wait a minute. So they were going to go right back to Herod. Yahweh had to tell them, all right, look here now, your boy speak with forked tongue. He gonna, if he find out what the child is, he gonna kill him. Go back this way. But Yahweh didn't tell them that in the beginning. Here's that part where like we read before, who is as blind as my servant? Let me tell you something. Sometimes if we know this ahead of time, man, Herod gonna try to, destroy the child. You know what, man? Let's not even go. Now you ain't did your job. Now, were you right that Herod was going to try to destroy the child? Yes. But your application of how to deal with it was wrong. He still wants you to go. He still wants you to go. But after you get to that part, then he gives you the instruction on the next stage. You have to be prepared for Yahweh to give you a direction that you would not have normally gone in. If I had known that there were going to be problems with the building, like I said, we would have never done the fence. Now we got bills to pay for both. We got a fence bill, and we got a siding bill. Now, my common sense would have said, let's just have one bill. Yahweh said, no, you're going to have two, because I want that too. Now figure it out. Go ahead.
And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Adonay appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be you there until I bring you word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Adonay by the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt have I called my son. Then Herod.
Now, you know, that prophet didn't make no sense when they read that. He's supposed to be born in Bethlehem, but then out of Egypt shall I call my son? What kind of sense that make? But then if he put all of that out, now the adversaries who were trying to destroy him know it too. So you have to prepare for Yahweh to give you something line upon line, precept upon precept. Don't think you understand everything about what we're supposed to do. Because if you understand that now, guess what? So do the people who are trying to destroy you. There's certain things that he got to give you right at the last minute. You got to get right to that light. Hey, bust that left right here, bro. What? Bruh, turn left, bro. Wait, no, I thought we were going, bruh. Turn left. All right, that it right there. Wait a minute, man. Why you wait to that? Because them same people who were hanging out with us back there, they would have came and destroyed all this if they knew where it was. He can't give you all that in the beginning. So you have to prepare your mind for that. Let's go to Psalm 83. So you don't know that he's doing this for your protection. You think that he is not telling you something, so then you feel like, you know what, the Most High is not communicating with me. I don't feel like He's close to me. He's not giving you some of those instructions so He can protect you, because you're gonna do something stupid with it. You're gonna go there out of order.
You know what? If this is where it is, then why don't I just take this shortcut and cut right through the graveyard and go right over there?
Right? You ain't gonna make it out that graveyard. See, this is what happens when you know too much and you're too smart. See, we need to be a blind, deaf, dumb servant, and then we'll follow instruction. See, if them smart servants again, you know what? What if, there you go, he out of here. He out of here. There you go. There you go. Hey, man, he didn't ask you about no what if. Hey, bro, follow your instructions. What are your instructions? What are your instructions? And then when Yahweh give you something and you have some issues, we start to think we're right. Imagine how I felt. I got 2 bills that keep showing up, and in my eyes, had I done it my way, it would have been 1 bill. That's enough to make you feel like you were doing right. But when you realize that Yahweh said, no, I want you to have 2 bills. And I know you're not going to do this if I show you that. He protected me from me. He said, you are smartly stupid. And you going to do something that's going to make me have to hurt you. So I ain't telling you this until you finish that. Soon as we finish the fence, then we get this little knowledge. I say, you got to be kidding me. But Yahweh know what He's doing. It may seem out of order to you. This is the difference between being directed by the Spirit and being directed by your own flesh. Where we at, bro?
Psalms chapter 83.
All right, go ahead and start that at verse 1.
Keep not you silence, O Elohim. Hold not your peace, and be not still, O Elohim. For, lo, your enemies make a tumult, and they that hate you have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people, and consulted against your hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against you. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot. Do unto them, as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kishon, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeb, yes, also their princes as Zebah and as Zalmonah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Elohim in possession.
Right. The whole earth is parting the land of Israel. They said Israel has been cut off as a nation. Don't nobody even remember them no more. So let us pretend to be them. Nobody's going to know. Go ahead.
O my Elohim, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind. As the fire burns a wood, and as the flame sets the mountains on fire. So persecute them with your tempest, and make them afraid with your storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek your name, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yes, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that you, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth.
All right, let's go to Acts chapter 17. I think we're going to have to make a part 2 on this one, because I still got some more stuff that we got to go through. Acts chapter 17, and I want you to start that at verse 1.
Now when they had passed through Amphipolis and Apollonia, they came to Thessalonica, where was a synagogue of the Yehudims. And Saul, as his manner was, went in unto them, and 3 Shabbat days reasoned with them out of the scriptures.
So it was his manner to go in on the Sabbath days. This is after the birth, death, and resurrection of Christ, and they are still keeping the Sabbath. It lets you know that the whole Catholic system is set up to demolish the governmental system of Yahweh and Yahshua. They have a different system. Go ahead.
Opening and alleging that Yahshua must needs have suffered and risen again from the dead, and that this Yahshua whom I preach unto you is the Mashiach.
Right. Now, that bothered some people because it was needful that Yahshua die. But you have our thing, you know, especially when it's somebody that we love, we want them to be there. He's saying, I need to do this. I have to do this. If I don't do this, you're not taken care of. But Yahweh had to hide that from them. He couldn't tell them from day one. And let me tell you something, y'all gonna follow this man, y'all gonna love him, but he got to go. Y'all know we don't even want to start the job then.
What do you mean? If that's the case, I ain't don't need me even starting this.
We done already quit. We done handed in our resignation on the first day. We still in training. You gonna what? You gonna give yourself. You gonna what? You know what? Ain't this new disciple orientation?
Yeah.
You know what? Never mind. I think I'd be something else. Right. Go ahead.
And some of them believed and consorted with Saul and Silas, and of the devoted Greeks a great multitude, and of the chief women not a few. But the Yehudims which believed not, moved with envy, took unto them certain lewd fellows of the baser sort.
Now, pay attention to that. But the Yehudims which believed not, moved with envy, took unto them certain lewd fellows of the baser sort. So they've gotten together with some sludge out the tub, all right? And now they have an operation going on. Now, this is saying something bad about the Jews. Keep reading.
And gathered a company, and set all the city on an uproar, and assaulted the house of Jason, and sought to bring them out to the people.
Wait a minute. Now this is saying something bad that the children of Israel, the Jews, have done. Go ahead.
And when they found them not, they drew Jason and certain brethren unto the rulers of the city, crying, These that have turned the world upside down are come hither also, whom Jason has received. And these all do contrary to the decrees of Caesar, saying that there is another king, one Yahshua. And they troubled the people and the rulers of the city.
They troubled the people. Now, jump to verse 13.
But when the Yehudims of Thessalonica had knowledge that the word of Elohim was preached of Saul and Berea, they came thither also and stirred up the people.
So the Jews of the other place stirred up the people as well. So now this is saying something about these Jews. Now, you have people who have taken on the identity of Jews, but do not want to be connected to anything that sounds harmful that was done by those people. So, brother, go to that this graphic and start reading for me.
The Anti-Semitism Awareness Act is a proposed U.S. federal bill that directs the Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights to use the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance working definition of anti-Semitism when investigating civil rights violations and discrimination complaints under the Title 14 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Wait a minute. So use their definition when it comes down to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Do you understand that they are connecting that to what was supposed to be done for you? Things that you and your people marched and were horribly beaten for, now they are going to attach a benefit for them to it.
This definition legally requires federal education authorities to consider the IHRA working definition of anti-Semitism during investigations. Scope applies to all programs and activities receiving federal financial assistance, including college and universities.
All right. Why do you think that some of those colleges were threatened if they didn't protect certain people from other people saying, wow, y'all have done such and such, then those colleges would lose funding. Okay, go ahead.
Examples included factoring in contemporary examples outlined by the IHRA, such as targeting Jewish groups or holding Jewish people collectively responsible for actions of the state of Israel.
Now, so then they said, all right, now we may be this people, but you may not hold us accountable for anything that happens to the nation. Now, that's interesting, because if one of us do something, the whole nation holds us accountable. As if we did it. Go ahead.
The legislation passed the House by a vote of 320 to 91, with 21 Republicans and 70 Democrats opposing the bill.
Now, that's dangerous to oppose a bill like that, and we'll get to why. Keep going.
Some opponents of the bill, such as New York Congressman Jerry Nadler, a Democrat Jewish lawmaker, have raised free speech concerns. Nadler, who described himself as a deeply committed Zionist, cautioned against the measure, saying it threatens to chill constitutionally protected speech.
So, constitutionally protected speech, fair speech, is now in jeopardy because of these so-called acts, this proposed bill. Go ahead.
The legislation goes on to reference the contemporary examples of anti-Semitism as identified by IHRA, some of which included calling for, aiding, or justifying the killing or harming of Jews in the name of a radical ideology or an extremist view of religion.
So, if you say it, it's a problem. Go ahead.
Denying the Jewish people their right to self-determination, i.g. by claiming that the existence of a state of Israel is a racist endeavor.
So if you say it, it's a problem. Go ahead.
Drawing comparisons of contemporary Israeli policy to that of the Nazis.
So if you say it, it's a problem. Go ahead.
Holding Jews collectively responsible for actions of the state of Israel.
You cannot hold them responsible for what was done, even though they carry the same name. Go ahead.
Also included in the examples is a phrase that states, using the symbols and images associated with classic anti-Semitism.
Classic. Go ahead.
For example, claims of Jews killing Jesus or blood libel, to characterize Israel or Israelis.
All right, so stop then. Now we got, this is where it gets interesting. This is the example opponents such as Congressman Gates have pointed out to counter Christian beliefs as presented within the Bible related to the death of their Jesus. Now, what we just read then has a possibility of being anti-Semitic. Why? Because it said the Jews did this and the Jews did that. We just read two instances in one quarter of a chapter that said the Jews did this. So now people have taken on the identity of Jews but do not want to be blamed for any of the things that it says the Jews have done. Now we got a problem. So now this bill means I can't read my book? Now we got to deal with how is that even possible? Go to the next graphic.
AIPAC was originally known as the American Zionist Council and began its operations in 1954, following World War II. Before the war, many Orthodox and conservative Jews were anti-Zionist, meaning they were unsupportive of a Jewish state. However, as a result of the Holocaust, pro-Zionist sentiment was renewed among anti-Zionists, who actively began calling on the American public to support Israel's statehood. Although this movement was important, the most prominent reason for the creation of a U.S.-Israeli lobby was in response to the Quibia massacre, an event where the Israeli army killed 60 Palestinian villagers in their West Bank homes. American Jews mobilized to create a lobby as a means of defending Israel from criticism during this time of crisis.
I need for you to let that sit for a second. So you can't hold the people liable for what the government did. They annihilated these people, but did not want to be connected to it. So now a lobby was created to influence government and how they dealt with things. Go ahead.
Leading to the renaming of the AZC to AIPAC as a means of incorporating all groups supportive of Israel, not just Zionists. Since its rebrand, AIPAC aims to unite both Democrats and Republicans to advance the mission of strengthening the U.S.-Israel relationship.
All right, keep going.
In recent years, AIPAC and its affiliated committees have dramatically expanded their role in congressional races, channeling substantial funds towards candidates who maintain strong pro-Israel positions and countering those who diverge from that stance. This strategy gained a renewed urgency during the recent election cycles due to the war in Gaza. In the 2024 election cycle, AIPAC specifically targeted the members of the Squad, an informal faction of progressive Democrats in the House of Representatives. Members of the Squad represent the furthest left of lawmakers within the House and advocate for progressive policies within the Democrat Party. In the wake of October 7th, the Squad renewed its calls for ceasefires in Gaza and accused Israel of committing an ethnic cleansing of the region. Remarks later deemed detrimental to the U.S.-Israel relationship by other Democrats and pro-Israel groups.
So the fact that they said this made a problem. Go ahead.
The Squad's negative views on Israel have significantly increased their opposition in the 2024 election cycle as anti-Squad groups largely outspent pro-Squad entities. Both AIPAC and the UDP have contributed over $23 million against members of this faction, as well as in support of their primary challengers.
So then what happens is when you speak against something that this group wants, they spend money against you and spend money for your opponent. Keep going to the next graphic.
In 2023, the UDP spent nearly $15 million in a New York congressional primary to oppose incumbent Squad member Jamal Bowman. The Super PAC used its funds on both negative advertisements opposing Bowman, as well as in support of Bowman's opponent, pro-Israel moderate Democrat George Latimer.
So then when it said something that is not something that they would like, then they're basically going to force you out of office unless you agree with their position. Wait a minute, they're operating the governmental system. So the nation part of Babylon and its affiliates operate the same way then as the spiritual branch. They need to operate that system. Go ahead.
Making it the most expensive primary in the UDP's history. In contrast, a coalition of 10 progressive PACs only spent a combined $3 million in support of Bowman's campaign. The UDP also targeted incumbent Representative Cori Bush in the 2024 election cycle. as the organization spent more than $8.4 million in the St. Louis primary in an effort to unseat her and elect pro-Israel candidate Wesley Bell.
So we're talking about $8.4 million spent in a local situation. You got to understand how much money this is. We're not talking about these people running for president. All right? These people are running for office in their town. And they're able to put this money behind these people who will go for their cause. And if anybody doesn't, then they spend money against them. So you have to fight the negative ads against you while they're also paying for good ads for the other person. Go ahead.
Bush had been an outspoken critic of Israel's response to Hamas following October 7th, characterizing the Gaza offensive as an ethnic cleansing and opposing Republican legislation she believed to be anti-Palestinian. Unfortunately for Bush, her actions made her a prime target for pro-Israel lobbying groups, especially AIPAC and its affiliated PACs.
AIPAC and its affiliated. So it is a group of lobbyists. So all of them have money, and they use that money against American candidates. Now, the reason it was changed because a foreign government is not supposed to be able to do that to American representatives. So they changed the name and said it's not for another government, but it's clearly for another government, which should be illegal. Go ahead.
In August of 2024, both Bowman and Bush lost their respective primaries.
Stop. They didn't agree. Money was combined from the various groups to go against them and for the other person. Two of those people, they targeted two of the people in that group. They are no longer representatives. Go ahead.
Leading to the election of two pro-Israel Democrats.
Now, who is in their spot? People who will agree with the cause for this certain group. Go ahead.
Backed by one of the largest Jewish lobbies in the United States.
Right. So then we have to examine some things and understand that this governmental system that Yahweh is trying to set up is grossly being warred against by other factions. And we have to wonder, who are these other groups that go against Yahweh's desire? One of the things that Yahweh said, when Israel does wrong, Israel has to be presented that they have done wrong. If you have two or more witnesses, then Israel has to be judged for it. Who would want Israel to be above judgment? It's not Yahweh's desire. So if indeed these factions are Israel, they are not acting according to Yahweh's actions, because Yahweh wants Israel to be called to the table for her wrongdoings and go through righteous judgment so that you can cut off the evil. But if Israel have enough power to change laws so that they will never be held accountable, that's not coming from Yahweh. That's something that we have to understand. But we got a good deal more here. We're going to stop right there. And we'll start back with this, Yah's will, next Shabbat. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.